click yes. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to finish up. Okay, so now we are going to do our dilutions. Listen to what I tell you before you start to do any of these. So here, let me flip my screen down so you can see. You are going to need a mini pipette. Ta-da! You are only doing this in rows or columns 2 to 6. Do not do anything in 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here we go. You are going to, with a clean mini pipette, which mine is clean, it was in distilled water. I'm going to take 1 drop from A1 and put it in A2. I'm going to spit the rest back into A1. Then I'm going to take my solution from A2, draw it up, spit it out. Draw it up, spit it out. Draw it up, spit it out. Draw it up. Put 1 drop in well A3. Spit it all back in A2. Take everything from A3. Bring it up and down into my pipette a few times. And then put 1 drop in A4. Everything else goes back into A3. You are going to do this all the way until I get to A6. When I get to A6, I'm going to put a drop in. I'm going to mix it up. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to clean my pipette. I can clean it in a thing of distilled water. I'm going to go to row B. I'm going to do the same thing all the way until I get to B6. Go ahead and complete that. Make sure you rinse your pipette each time. for the rest of you, Cammie, if you want to go, that's fine. If you messed it up and have to start over again anyways, that is perfectly fine. For the rest of you, I'm on my letter E. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so in the interest of everybody's time, like I said earlier, this is a very time-consuming lab, and it is very tedious. I am going to stay on, and I am going to finish the lab. I'm going to do so fairly quickly. You can either stay on and watch me, or you can work at your own pace. Your homework for this week is to complete this lab, fill in the data charts, and I need to see them, whether you're taking a JPEG of them and sending them to me as a picture file, or if you make your own on Excel, that's completely up to you. And then you need to answer the questions. So right now, I am on step number 6. And in step number 6, I am in step number 8. I am adding my sodium hydroxide. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to keep working. I'm going to angle my screen. You guys can either watch or you can work along with me. Okay, I am now moving on to step number 12. That is where I am. I'm going to take my universal indicator strips They look like this. I'm going to put one in each row. Actually, I'm going to do them down here in F. Doesn't matter if you do them in A or F. It's completely up to you. You're going to just let it sit. While I'm letting that sit, I'm going to put in my phenolphthalein into row E. You want just a little tiny bit so it can get all the way into your wells. If you're having a hard time getting them into the wells, you can poke them in with a pipette. Being careful not to touch the solution. Then my last indicator that is in here is bromophenol blue. I'm going to add 1 drop to each well and record my results. And then I have natural indicator. Mine is grape juice. I'm going to take my mini pipette and put a drop in each as well. And I'm going to see what happens. Your natural indicator may or may not have any effect on the color. But what you now are going to do, and if you have more than one natural indicator, you are going to do that. I am going to look at my lab results, and I'm going to look at my indicator strips, and on my container, there's a key. So I'm going to take the one that was in my first well plate. I'm going to compare it and see what color it's closest to in this case. Mine seems to have worked out great, and it's closest to 1. So for my indicator column, I am going to write pH paper. And in well 1, I am going to write it had a pH of 1. Now let me just pull my row 11 and see what it had. I think it had a pH of around 12. So I'm going to write in row 11 that the pH was about 12. And that is what it looks like to start, Ashley. I'm going to do that for each well plate. Now I'm going to look at my phenolphthalein indicator paper, and I'm going to write what colors changed where. It looks like in my case I had a pink in 12 and 11. That was it. Maybe a little blue in 9. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to look at my Brethomanol blue. And I had a yellow in 1, yellow in 2, green in 3. And you're just going to fill out your data table like that. We are going to, you are going to record all of your results in your data table. And you are going to answer the questions. You do not need to do a full lab report write-up for this lab. You are simply answering the questions and sending me your data table. You do not need to write up a whole lab report. Okay, does anyone have any questions on finishing up this lab? You mean you don't have any questions to ask me, or you don't see any questions? The questions are on page 64 of your lab report. If you guys don't have any questions, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.